Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I do mostly travel advice videos and travel vlogs and solo travel videos, budget travel videos, all that sort of thing. So make sure you click subscribe and click the little bell button so you get notifications when I create new videos. When I upload new videos. So today I've compiled a list of my 5 favourite foodie destinations that you should travel to. These are my favourite destinations that I've been to. Obviously there's probably tons of different places that I haven't been to that are great to try if you're a foodie like me. But I'm just going to go over the few places that I've been to and that I found had such a really good food culture and the food was just out of this world. For me, the most important thing when I'm traveling to a new destination is trying out the local food, going to different restaurants, experiencing the atmosphere of being out for like, a glass of wine and eating and all that sort of thing. Anything to do with eating, I'm there. Most of these places I've actually made quite a lot of videos on, so make sure you go and check out all those other videos because they're really in-depth foodie guides or me exploring the cities and all that sort of thing. So the first one is Italy, and I feel like this is such a obvious one almost because people just love the food there. I feel like people just go for the pasta and for the pizza and for the seafood, but it actually really is such an amazing place to go for amazing food. I've been to Italy twice and I'm going again for a 3rd time in the next few months. And I cannot wait to go back and eat all the delicious food that they have to offer there. The first time I went to Italy, I went to Rome, Venice, and Florence, but I don't know if I went to like super authentic restaurants. I probably went to quite touristy places and I still really enjoyed it. But then fast forward a few years later, which was only last year, I went to Monte Rosso and Lucca, and that's where I experienced some really nice restaurants. So even though the typical things that people always go for in Italy are like seafood, pasta and pizza, what I really enjoyed there is just going to like the local shop or the local deli and just picking from the deli counter and getting different meats and cheese, getting them to make you like a focaccia or a sandwich, and they were just so delicious. Like everything there is just so full of flavor when it comes to like meat and cheese and And then also what I really enjoyed was the pastries. We went to this really nice bakery when we went to Monte Rosso called Wonderland Bakery, and they had really nice pastries and cakes. So I'm gonna just recommend one place from each place that I went to. So one from Lucca and one from Monte Rosso. So I went to a really nice pasta place and had some really nice pasta in Lucca. I'm gonna put the name here because I don't know how to pronounce it. So I had a ragu ravioli and Jill had a really nice zucchini gnocchi. And then the other place that we went to in Monte Rosso, which we had a really nice pizza in, was called, I'll just put it here because I'm not gonna pronounce it. And we had some really nice pizza there as well. This is in no particular order, by the way. It's just like a jumbly list. I haven't got a particular favorite. It's too hard to decide between these 5 places. But the next place is Taiwan. So recently I went to Taiwan on my own like solo adventure for 2 weeks. I feel like it's just so different. Like it has such a different mix. Like you could go there for 2 weeks or months and you wouldn't be able to try every single dish. Like there's just so many different dishes and so many different things. Obviously they have really great restaurants and cafes, but the big thing in Taiwan is the night food markets, and they have them all over the cities and they operate all the time, I'm pretty sure, most nights. Okay, so we've got the deep fried chicken. It's a big deep fried chicken with lots of pepper and seasoning. It's really hot. They're just full of different food vendors with all these different foods, and you've got to go and just do like a foodie tour through these markets because they're just, the stuff is just so different. I've done tons of videos on these night markets, so make sure you go and check those out. But the thing about Taiwan is it's such a big mix of different cultures. Like it has a big Japanese influence and a big Chinese influence, and then also the indigenous influence. My favorite things in Taiwan were beef noodle soup. Yeah, just really delicious. I just can't wait to go back one day and just eat beef noodle soup every single day because it was just so good. I don't really have any recommendations of where to go for this. My advice would be to just ask a local or ask in your hostel or hotel where you should go for beef noodle soup, because I'm pretty sure there'll be tons of places, or go online and look at reviews and stuff like that. My next favorite thing in Taiwan was pepper pork buns, which you can get in the Rao night market. It'll be the first stall as soon as you walk in that has a really long line. The line moves really quickly, but you need to get one of those because it was my favorite thing I had at the night markets. And lastly, I'll just mention is the soup dumplings and sesame bun. They were also really delicious. The place I went to was called Jinji Wan in the Danan district in Taipei. Sorry if I butchered that. And the 3rd place on my list is Madrid in Spain. I recently went to Madrid on like a quick weekend away with my auntie and her friend. Her friend actually lives there and she's from Spain. So she gave us like a very like local insider experience. I feel like she went to all the really cool places and chose all the really traditional Spanish food. And even though I am naturally an early bird, I really do love the Spanish culture of having like a late lunch, having a nap, and then pretty much going out for dinner at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night and like just nibbling on food and drinking and just socializing. My favorite things to try in Spain were pulpo, which is octopus. So you get this really nice, I don't know how it's cooked, grilled octopus, I don't know, with like paprika on top, and it tastes so good and so juicy. And then my other favorites are red wine, of course, tortilla and tortilla. So tortilla is like a cheesy, potatoey kind of omelette, like a thick omelette, and it's just so, so good. Especially if you love cheese, it's really good. And then torrilla, I can't pronounce it. So it's kind of like a bread and butter pudding or like French toast. But yeah, the tapas in Spain is just so different to anywhere else in the world, obviously because it's in Spain. But me and Joel actually go to a local Spanish tapas place all the time and we rave about it. And if you're from Manchester, you probably know where I'm talking about. And we just love this place. But going to Madrid, it was so much better. All the places better in Madrid compared to the best place in Manchester. And it's just so fresh and so, so good. So the next place is Hanoi in Vietnam, or like Vietnam in general. But I particularly loved Hanoi because they had so many different little shops and street vendors down the streets with all their little like plastic colored chairs. And the food was so, so cheap, but so good. So I definitely recommend going to one of those street little shops. They're really, really good. I don't even know how we ended up picking where to go, because I don't think these places really have like reviews online or anything. They might do, but a lot of little places like that in Vietnam you don't find online, you just have to go to them. The two things I really, really love are noodles and coriander, and that's what Vietnam does really, really well. I feel like Vietnamese food is so different to a lot of different Asian cuisines. Growing up in Australia, I feel like I was lucky enough to experience quite a lot of different Asian cuisines, and I feel like it's just so different. I don't know what it is, but it's not super saucy. I think that's what it is. It's very minimalistic in a way. Like it's just quite simple but so flavorful and so fresh. Favorite thing to get is bun cha, which is like this, it's like noodles and then you get this soup and then you get all these veggies and greens and all that sort of thing, and you mix it all together and it just tastes really, really good. And then last but not least, how could I not mention my hometown, Perth, Australia? So I couldn't make a foodie video without mentioning Perth. The food, like the brunch and the coffee scene has been really up and coming in Perth in the last 5 to 10 years. It's just really, really boomed. There's new places opening up all the time. All you have to do is download this app called Zomato or go on the website and you'll find tons of different places listed on there and all their reviews and their ratings and their menus, and you can just have a look on there and pick somewhere because there's so many places in Perth to go. There's such a big Asian culture in Perth, so I've been lucky enough to try so many different cuisines growing up. So it has a huge like Singaporean, Malaysian, Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, Thai. One of my favorite things to get in Australia is sushi. They're not really big on it here in the UK just yet. Probably London. So that's one of the things I do recommend you trying. Because along with that, the seafood is also something you should definitely try in Australia or in Perth. Something that I have noticed whilst living in the UK and being away from Australia is that the food is just so fresh in Australia and you can just never get a bad dish. Like there's just so many good places that make such good food nowadays. So I'll quickly mention the things that you need to try when you're in Australia or Perth. So seafood, sushi, like I mentioned, any sort of Asian food, and then also brunch, because the brunch scene is just like so big over there. You know, get your avo, smashed avo on toast. I don't like avocado, but you know, that's what everyone else likes. Poached eggs. I feel like the choices there and the creativity with brunch is just so different to anywhere I've been. And obviously you need to try the coffee because we have one of the best coffee scenes. You know, we're very competitive with Melbourne. And also what you need to try is the local brewed beers in WA. There's Gauge Roads and Little Creatures that you should definitely try. And then also any local West Australian wine. We have such a huge wine region just south of Perth with so many different amazing wines. And then the last thing I'll mention is one recommendation. My favourite place to go for fish and chips when I go back to Australia, to Perth, is Kayla's Fish Market in Fremantle. That's where I always go and get my fish and chips whenever I go. And yeah, So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you choose to go to one of these places because the food is amazing. I hope you go because of my recommendation. That would be great. Please comment below if you've been to any of these places before, if you have any suggestions of where you'd like to go. I'm going to finish this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!